Asking God for a refreshing and renewal. And it is my prayer that even beyond this day, you don't stop till you get it. Amen. And so we want to thank God for that and take a moment to observe on this Pentecostal Sunday, amen, what the Lord has done richly, not on us, not for us, but what He's done in us. Romans chapter 8, verse 11. When you get there, say, I've got it. If not, it's there on your screen. Read with me. And if the spirit of Him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, He who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies because of His Spirit who lives in you. Read it one more time. And if, yes, the spirit of Him, come on church, who raised Jesus from the dead is what? Living in you. He who raised Christ from the dead will also what? Give life to your mortal bodies because of His Spirit who lives in you. Lean over to your neighbor when you wait till you see and just say, Lord, fill me with your Spirit. Yes, that's it. That's what I want to talk about just for a moment. Lean over to the other side and say, hey you. Tell them you don't need any kind of spirit on you. Just tell them you don't even need my spirit on you. But come on, somebody holler, Lord, fill me with your Spirit. Praise the Lamb of God. The moment you pull away from a filling station, dissipation occurs. What is dissipation, you may ask? Dissipation simply means to waste away. Everywhere you drive, you use up your gasoline. The length of time from full to empty depends on three things. Number one, it depends on how far you travel. Number two, it depends on how fast you travel. And thirdly, it depends on how frugal one is with their air or their heating used. Thus, consequently, the fuel indicator slowly goes from full to empty because driving the car uses the energy that the fuel provides. Eventually, the more the car moves, the more it will need to be filled up again with gasoline. The filling of a car, brothers and sisters, is an ongoing responsibility. In the same way like cars and gas, it's the same way like your life. We all, whether you admit it or not, can become spiritually drained. Can I get a witness? We come to church, we shake hands at fellowship hour, we spend time in Sunday school, yet many of us leave the premises without being filled up again. But as long as we live in this world, there will be many days, Brother Vincent, that you wake up on empty. Anybody ever been running on empty? One day I was running late. I got up and I had been running exhaustively, flying in, flying out, and all of a sudden it was about 8 o'clock and I had to get up for a meeting, and I drug myself out of the bed. I was not only physically tired, but I was spiritually drained. I got in the truck, and when I got in the truck, I turned the key on, and guess what, church? The gas light came on. I knew I didn't have time really to go buy gas because I was just going to be on time for the meeting. So I try to look down at your phone like you do and just see what time it was, and guess what? The phone was dead. Y'all ain't going to say amen to this. And when I sat there, thinking about I gotta stop by the gas station, I'm already physically tired, I'm spiritually drained, and my phone is dead, I heard the Holy Ghost say unto me, Michael, you're empty. Oh, glory to God. And I wonder how many brothers and sisters that are sitting in these pews today, as beautiful as you look, can admit that you're empty. Going through the motions. Going through misery. Some of us just call it going through. Trying to manage your money. Dealing with stress, sick people, sickness yourself. And second guessing sometime when you wake up in the morning, Lord, am I even going in the right direction? You think because your car sometimes is clean, you think that sometimes because your car is smelling good and got good shoes on it and has clean eyes that everything is okay. But can I tell you this? It don't matter what your car look like and how good it smells if it don't have no gas. Just look down your road. Don't say nothing to them. Just say, you ain't going nowhere. Let me ask the question again. Are you empty? You would be a fool to sit here and believe because of how we look in here that there are not brothers and sisters in here that are empty. They wave out of courtesy. They're kind out of courtesy. But deep down within their side, they have grown empty. When you empty, can I tell you, when you're empty, you mean for no reason. Come on, I'm going to get to you in a minute. But when you empty, you cuss as a Christian. I'm going to come get you. Hold on, stay right there. When you empty, you answer people like this. What you want? No, not today. Get out of my face. What you say? In the words of one of my favorite things, she says this. What is it, sucker? Y'all ain't gonna say that. You are so empty, brothers and sisters, that you haven't noticed that your engine is sputtering and your car won't turn over. When you are empty, brothers and sisters, how many can admit by show of hands, you are sometimes out of control? Out of control, what I mean by that is one day a father was asked by his son, he says, why does a fish flop on the ground like that? And the father says, if you have ever seen a fish out of water, you know that it flops around, it wiggles, and it begins to jump all over. Look on your screen, yes. If it's out of water, it's also out of where it's supposed to be. It's out of, listen brothers, of its intended environment. The fish is trying to move, but it can't go anywhere because it's not in the right environment it was made to be in. So it flops, it twists, it flips because it's absolutely going nowhere. Why? Because it's trying to be fishy in an unfishy environment. Y'all ain't gonna say amen to this. So no matter how much flipping and flopping it does, all it's going to do is run out of breath. The fish will die because it is not in the right environment. And a lot of Christians are flipping and flopping in their life trying to do better, but we are running out of breath. And we are getting tired because we are not doing what is right in the right environment. And the environment for living our Christian lives has to be, scooter close, in the spirit. How many of you are tired in your life? Tired in your life. And brothers and sisters, I want to tell you, something in here smells fishy. So the text says, and if the spirit of him, that's what it says, who raised Jesus, there it is on the screen, and if the spirit of them that raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, let me say it again, it should be on your screen, and if the spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, the critical issue is when you're tired and don't have nothing, do you have something in you to help you? Good question. Number one principle I wish to share with you on my way to my seat is give yourself, first of all, the text is indicating we must give ourselves over to dying. Say that with me, I must give myself over to dying. The raising of Jesus was predicated on what he was willing to release. How many fighters do I have in here? Just wave at me. You're a fighter. You ain't going down without a fight. You're not losing a conversation without saying the last word. While somebody talking, you're shaking your head saying, when you get through, I'm waiting on you in the cup. Y'all come on here. You a fighter. You a fighter. You will argue when you wrong. Y'all come get me. See? But see, I got to tell you, that's not the demeanor of a person who is walking in the Spirit. The Bible declares, if you look there in the text, he says, if, I like that. He said, if what was in Jesus is in you got to be willing to die. Brothers and sisters, I know you don't like dying, but can I tell you that is the pattern of how our Lord and Savior Jesus taught us. In St. John 19:32, look what it says. Then came the soldier and broke the legs of the first man and the other which was crucified with him. That's the two boys on the side. Verse 33 says, but when they came to Jesus to break his legs, somebody holler, he was already dead. Some of you wouldn't get broken spirited, and some of you wouldn't get broken in your life if you would just lay down and die. I know you think dying is a bad thing, but dying is the prerequisite to being raised. And the reason why some of you can't get elevated on your job, and some of you can't get elevated in your life, is because you fight all the time. Y'all ain't saying that. But Jesus teaches us that when the enemy comes to us, play like you're dead. Y'all ain't gonna help me here. Lean over to your neighbor and touch them and say, neighbor, sometime when the snake calls around you, play like you already dead. Fighting only makes Satan tighten his grip. Let me come on this side and see if y'all help me. When you fight Satan, if you keep fighting him, he tightens his grip. Y'all, wrong side, y'all sleep. Let me try this out. If you ever get in a fight and tussle with Satan, you don't supposed to fight him back, because to fight him, he tightens his grip. Wrong side. Let me try the middle side. Anytime you put your hands up to fight Satan and you keep fighting him, that's not how you win. He said he tightens his grip. Yeah, but touch two people on your roll and just tell them, neighbor, neighbor, oh neighbor. Tell them you got to learn not to flop like a fish and fight, but tell them go ahead and die. Why did Jesus die so fast? Sister Marquis died so fast because he released himself over to death. You got to learn how to release yourself over to it. I ain't going to lose in this conversation. No. I'm going to talk. And you're going to miss your blessing. That's right. Sometimes God will put you in a situation already knowing you wrong just to see if you will die and submit yourself. See, y'all don't like this kind of teaching. See, because you gonna fight. You got something to say. No, God already set you up to be wrong. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. Did y'all hear what I just said? God already set you up to be wrong just to see what you gonna say. And some of you gonna say something anyhow. Don't care what it's about. And this is what I want to tell you. If you're gonna be like Jesus, if you're going to live a life where the Spirit of God leads you, you got to learn sometime how to die. Many of us are putting the fights in our life when God wants us to die to it. If you don't release it, I can't raise you out of it. Raise your hand. I want you to tell the Lord, Lord, I'm willing to release some stuff so you can raise me out of it. You want to know why some of you still in the same situation, still struggling, and it won't change for you? It's just a cycle. It seems like you get to the end of it, it's like God make you start over. That's because you won't die in the valley. If you die in the valley, God says, I'll raise you if you're willing to release it. Oh my God. Somebody holler, die to it, die to it, die to it. Yeah, die to it, die to it. Come on, point at somebody on your road, say die to it. Yeah. Y'all hear me? Die to it, die to it, die to it. Die to it, die to it, die to it. You're going to have to help me, die to it, die to it. Some of y'all flipping and flopping like fish. Die to it, my God. Die to it, die to it, die to it. If you lay dead, sometimes even the fisherman will throw you back in the water to hold you if he think you're dead. Y'all ain't going to say amen. But you got to learn how to die to it. Just touch your neighbor, tell him die to it. That's mighty good. How do I know that I even have the Holy Spirit? How do I know that I have that thing from heaven living on the inside of you? Can I tell you? Yes, sir. Because, brothers and sisters, you sometimes should be feeling like you died. That's right. That's That's when you're with family and everything seems like they say is against you. You're trying to do the best that you can, but somebody always got something to say. And you're ready to fight sometime with tears in your eyes, but some down on the inside of you have you sit there while tears are coming and you say nothing. God is challenging you. God is trying you. And I know you don't like this today because some of you just got to fight your way. But see, when you fight, you showing God, I don't need you. I can do this in my own strength. But do I have any witnesses out there that have lived long enough and can testify that after I have given it my best shot, I still lose when I try it my way? Do I have any witnesses out there that wave your hand and say, I'm going to try to do it by the Spirit? Because it's not by might. It's not by power. But somebody holler, it's by His Spirit. His Spirit suggests to us, I'm not doing this to win, but I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let the Spirit lead me, because wherever the Spirit leads me, I cannot lose. Do I have any witnesses out there that say, I get tired of losing sometimes? I say what I want to say, but I still lose. I do what I want to do, but I still lose. Well, somebody jump up on your feet and say, not in this season. I want the Spirit to lead me. Lean over, grab a neighbor by the hand and say, wherever He leads me, tell Him I will follow and I'll go with Him. Come on, hit your neighbor and say, all of the way. Praise the Lamb of God. Y'all sit down. Somebody touch your neighbor on your way to your seat. Say, die to it. Die. Yes, sir. You're going to get a chance to come to the altar here in just a few moments. Yes, sir. Some of you never come because you won't die to it. That's all right, Pastor. I'm gonna be through smoking. I'm gonna smoke to the end of June, and after I get through smoking in June, I'm through. You trying to do deliverance on your terms. No, you just got it with tears in your eyes. Just come, just saying, I'm gonna die to this. That's what it takes. Because if you don't release it, He can't raise you. Whew, this is good. So the principle one is give yourself over to dying. Number two, make a notation. The second principle in the text it teaches us is that my spirit is always in God's hand. Here's the question. When Jesus dies, does He ever exit the hands of God? Can I tell you, Psalm 119, 109 says that my life is ever in my hands. Do y'all hear what I'm trying to tell you? Simply meaning this, when you die in a situation, you ought to praise God, not for the people who talking about you. And can I tell you, sometime when you die, people will get right beside you and clap while will clap their hands and wish that God would kill you faster than you already died. But you don't need to focus on Negroes who want you to die. Focus on whose hand is still on you. My God, I wish I had a witness. Can I see if anybody can testify this morning that you was in a dying situation, but the only thing that kept the sanity in your mind is that you felt the hand of God on you. You couldn't praise Him like you normally praise Him. You didn't know what to say most of the time, but you just felt God's hand on you. Oh, touch your neighbor and say, because His hand was on me, I was able to get up. My God, from where I was. Yeah, my God. Somebody holler, His hand is on me. No. Throw up both your hands. Say, Lord, keep your hands on me. Do I have anybody out there that say, no matter what I go through, as long as the Lord has His hand on me, somebody holler, I'm going to come back from this. My God. I remember, yes. I remember, yes. Yes, I remember. Yes, I remember. The good news in being out of gas is this. Scoot up close, church. The engine is still good. Oh, yeah. Y'all, I'm going to throw this mic down, y'all. Can I say that? You know what touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, sometime when you're out of gas, before you get down, say, remember that the engine is still good. The engine of a car, though it lies under the hood, the engine dwells there. Even when the car is stopped. Even when the car is not moving. Yes. Even when the car is sitting in the lot. Dwelling under the hood is an invisible power source. And what is the engine designed to do? I'm glad you asked. It is designed to take the car somewhere. Only a fool would bother to push a perfectly brand new automobile up a hill. There is no point in pushing something that has the power to carry you. I'm going somewhere. Why would a person put forth effort to push a car that has the power to deliver you to your destination? Because we understand this concept, we don't push our cars. We simply open the door, put our seatbelt on, get inside the car, and let the car transport us. Scoot up close. I know you're a little slow. When the Spirit of the Lord dwells on the inside of you, oh my God, it simply suggests to us that there is a power that is on the inside of us that will help me praise God even when I don't feel like it. Anybody have an engine on the inside of you that make you keep going when you say you don't want to go? Oh my God. I know somebody just holler, I've got power. I don't know if you use it, but I want you to holler, I got power. I got power to get up from where I am. I got power to let God raise me out of my situation. I've got power to do all things through Christ who gives me the strength. I've got power because I heard the Bible say, prophet, that greater is he that lives in me than he that lives in the world. Meaning that when I lose strength on the job, I lose strength around the church, I have a power on the inside that is able to drive me to where God wants me to go. Somebody holler, I've got power. I've got an engine that when others say I can't make it, somebody holler, I've got a power. Don't wake up this power. I said, don't wake up this power. Tell me I'm not going to make it. But whatever you do, devil, don't wake up this power. Something down in my belly when you tell me I won't make it, Cornelius. Something makes me get up and I feel like I got power. That was an old man laying in ICU. Another preacher came in while he was down on his bed. The preacher said, when you die, can I have your church? Do y'all hear what I'm trying to tell you? The preacher laid on his back, heard what the man said, start pulling wires off of it, start pulling the hard monitor off of it. He said, before I die, I'm getting ready to get up from here. You just told me you gave up on me. But touch your neighbor and say, I've got power. Somebody help me say, I've got it. I've got power. So number one, yes. Yes. Number one, you got to get yourself up to die. What you got to do, number two, you got to recognize, yes, that the Spirit is up in my hand. And lastly, the text teaches us that if I give myself over to die, like Jesus did, and the hand of God remains in me while I'm going through hell, if I hold on and let God allow me to, number three, exchange me, that's my life, for his life, then he is willing to raise me out of the dead. Y'all missed it. Let me rewind and say it again. If I die to the situation, and remember God's hand will always be on me. I'm going through hell. I'm going through sickness. I'm going through the valley. I'm going through stuck-up church folk. I'm going through lying family members. It seems like I'm in hell. But if I die with my life while I'm going through through hell, then God promised he'll raise me up and exchange my life. Somebody holler for his. Jesus represents the strength of the body. Christ represents the strength of the spirit. You miss it in the text. He died as Jesus. That's his body. But when God raised him, he called him Christ. Woo, y'all making this hard. In other words, when God raises you up in the spirit, you're going to act like a different person. Oh, y'all ain't going to say amen. Jesus represents the body. His mind represents the spirit. And when you get out of the way, God says, I will pour my thoughts into you. I will give you my strategies. I will pour my love in exchange. You don't have enough love for that situation. But if you die to it, I'll give it to you. You don't have enough patience for that situation. But Lady Sabrina, if you die to it, I'll give you my patience. You don't have enough strength for that situation. But Tara, if you die to it, I'll give you enough strength. I'm closing when I tell you this little story. And I'm on my way to my seat. There was a boy, yes, who went to the country. And it's good to hang out in the country. I said it's good to hang out in the country. Down to the country with his uncle. And his auntie was sitting on the porch on one early morning, and she was drinking something. She had a teaspoon of apple cider, yes, a teaspoon of castrol in it, and some other nasty stuff in it. And she would sip on it. And so the boy saw her drink the cup and squinch every time she drank. And so he said, well, what in the world Auntie is drinking? The next morning she had the cup again. And she would drink it. And so when the little boy went up to Auntie and said, Auntie, yes, So Auntie, yes, So Auntie, can I try some of that, whatever you're drinking every morning? And she said, baby, yes, you can try what I have been drinking every morning. Little boy took the cup, fixed his lips, smelling, sniffing juice. She put a little lemon on it, so it kind of confused him to think it may have been lemonade. It was not lemonade. He took a drink, and it felt like he was dying. He turned around and spit the drink out off the porch and said, Mother, can I tell you that is the worst drink that I have ever tasted. Grandmother looked at him and she says, that's all right, you think like that. I got to get ready to get out of here, children. Have a good day. But she said, I know it don't taste good. She said, but what I learned how to do, I've learned how to acquire a taste for it. Y'all didn't hear what I tried to tell you. She said, I've learned how to like it because when I see the effects of what it does for my life, she said, I drink it every morning. Y'all still don't know when to shout. When you taste and see that the Lord is good, y'all ain't gonna say amen. I said you gotta learn how to taste it. Lean over and grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, you may not like it when you taste Jesus because there's a crown of thorns in it. There's blood in the water. There are crowns on his head. There is piercings in his side. But look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you got to learn how to acquire a taste for it. It may not taste good, but it'll work for your good. I dare you to get out of your seat. Go over to 3 people and tell them, neighbor, if you would just taste of the Lord, he will fill you. Tell them with good things. Get out of your seat. Go over the 3 people and tell them, Lord, fill me again. 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 Here is my cup. Fill it up. say, Lord, I'm thirsty. Lord, I'm thirsty. Don't give me what I want. Give me what I need. Somebody shout yes. Somebody shout yes. Lean over and grab your neighbor by the hand. Shake it like you're gonna shake it off. And tell them, neighbor, I know you've been through much hell and misery. Tell them, I know you've been through sickness and pain. But tell them, neighbor, as bitter as it was, it still worked for my good. For we know that all things work together. Somebody help me in here. For the good, for the good, for the good, for the good. I know the Lord is all right. Somebody holler, he's all right. He's all right. Go on, both your heads, say, Lord, fill me. Fill me again. Lord, fill me. Lord, fill me again. Standing all over this place. If you would die to it, die to it. Lord, I want the Spirit. No, you got to die first. You missed it. Lord, I want a dose of your Spirit. No, die to it. Otherwise, coming to the altar is just routine. You're sitting here with closed mouth. But when you die, dying rhymes with crying. That's why many people come to the altar. Come on, altar workers, come in quickly. That's why many people come to the altar, don't get all of what you need. It's because you come in holding on to what you don't want to die to. But the day is Pentecostal Sunday. Anybody, let me ask you this, want God to exchange what you got for what he has? Think about what I'm asking you. Do you want God to exchange your life for the life he has for you? Anybody tired and empty? It's not bad being empty if you know where to go to get filled.
That's good. Yes, sir.
Did you hear what I said? Say it with me. It's not bad being empty when you know where to go to get filled. Anybody know your tank today ain't all the way full? Come on, wave at me. You know your tank ain't all the way full. Don't fool me. Don't lie to me. I'm talking to you today. Today God will touch you.